Last year, COVID took away my sense of smell. And as you can imagine, I was traumatized. I was devastated. I couldn't smell a thing. So in this video, I am going to show you how I regained my sense of smell in just 10 days. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and ring that bell so you're notified every time that I make a new video about essential oils, aromatherapy, botanical beauty formulation, and aromatherapy entrepreneurship. Since regaining my sense of smell, I've started telling people about the smell training or olfactory training that I did that helped me get it back so quickly. Many of my students in my Aromatherapy in Action online aromatherapy program have been asking me to put together a lesson, a video about how I got my smell back. So here we go. What you're going to need to start your smell training or olfactory training. This is how I set up my smell training kit and what you would need if you want to set up your own kit. As I said before, in the description, I have links to everything that I'm using so you can easily find it and order it, etc. So first of all, you are going to need some glass jars. I strongly recommend not using plastic because you're going to have the volatile aromatic aromas and oils in this jar for a long time. And if it's in a plastic jar, it will eventually eat away at that plastic, and we definitely don't want to be inhaling that. So you definitely want to get glass. I would recommend a dark color so the oils don't oxidize. And I would also recommend that it is a shallow jar. You don't want like a big kind of like salt scrub jar because you don't want so much air kind of sitting on top of where the oil is going to be. Okay, you're going to need 4 jars. Next, you are going to need these cotton pads. You can find these super easy, like at your local drugstore, and they're just 100% organic cotton. I prefer organic. I don't like using bleached or dyed or any kind of chemical residues on my cotton. So you're going to want like a certified organic cotton. You could also use watercolor blotter paper, which you can get at an art store. It's obviously more expensive and harder to find. I did put a link in the description, however, but these are really easy to use. You can find them anywhere, and they're a little more accessible. So you're going to need 4 jars and 4 of these cotton pads. Next, you are going to need your essential oils. And the essential oils that you're going to need are going to have to be from 4 kind of aromatic groups. And you're going to want these aromatic groups to be pretty diverse, so to speak, right? They're not closely related. So you're going to want to have a floral, you're going to want to have a spicy, and you're going to want to have a medicinal kind of airy smell like eucalyptus. And you're going to want to have a citrus. So it doesn't matter which citrus you choose. I happen to choose lime because I found the lime aroma to be the most pungent and strongest. So I thought that that would work best for my smell training. So the oils I have here are lime, which is cold expressed from the peel of the lime fruit. I have a jasmine absolute. And then I have eucalyptus, and then I have cinnamon, okay? Cinnamon leaf. So this is how you set up your jars to do the exercise. You first take the cotton pad, you take a jar, and you stuff it right into the jar like this. And then you're gonna take the oil. I'm gonna take lime first. And I am going to add 10 drops in here. So I have 10 drops in here now, which is great. Okay, and now I'm immediately going to put the lid on. Now the next thing that is most important that you have to do as you're setting up your smell training kit is you need to put a label because you can't smell, right? if you're starting to put this together, you won't be able to distinguish each jar from another. So it's really important that you write the label immediately after putting in your oil into the jar. So this was lime, so I'm just gonna write on a label here, and I'm gonna do 2 labels. I'm gonna do one for the top of the jar and one for the bottom of the jar. Now, the reason why I do that is because I want to be able to see it when I'm choosing to use it. And then I'm going to want, when my cap is off, when I'm doing the actual exercises, I want to know what it is that I'm smelling if I don't have the cap near me. Okay? So we have done our lime, and now you see I have lime labeled on the top and I have lime labeled on the bottom. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to do this for each one. So I have all of my jars set up. Here is the exercises, okay? And the way that you will have the maximum results is if you do these exercises between 3 and 5 times a day. I know that sounds like a huge amount of time to commit to this, but you're only doing it for about 5 minutes, okay? So what I did is I literally carried them in my purse and in my backpack. And if I was waiting for the train or I was, somewhere online, I would just pull out a jar and just do it whenever I could. So the more often that you can engage your sense of smell, the quicker your results are going to be. So the actual smelling exercise is like this, all right? Obviously, when you're doing this, you have no sense of smell. So remember that, right? You can't smell a thing. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to do a very specific and focused kind of sniffing. And the reason why you're doing that is because in the back of your nasal cavity are where your smelling neurons are. They're called olfactory epithelium. And there's a whole bunch of supporting cells around those nerve endings, which are the ones that are disabled by the COVID virus. So you want to kind of reactivate them because our sense of smell, our olfactory neurons, and those supporting cells, they actually regenerate every 28 days. So this exercise can help jumpstart that process that's already naturally occurring in our bodies. So this is how we do the exercise. And like I said, you're going to do this like 3 to 5 times a day. Basically, you're going to close your eyes, you're going to hold the jar right under your nose, and you're going to get your nose almost in the jar. And when you close your eyes, you are going to imagine in your memory what that plant looks like or tastes like, right? We all have it embedded in our memory. So this is lime. So I'm going to remember what a lime looks like. I'm going to remember what a lime tastes like, even though I can't smell a thing. So as I'm doing these very focused sniffs, I'm going to be meditating, so to speak, and remembering the image of a lime, the smell of a lime, the taste of a lime. Okay, it could be key lime pie, it could be lime in a drink, whatever it might be, lime candy, whatever it might be. So here we go. So I'm going to close my eyes, center myself like a little meditation. I'm going to place it right under my nose, and I'm going to do 3 sets of 5 sniffs. Here we go. And then I pause for about 5 seconds, and I repeat. I pause, and then I repeat. I open my eyes, I close the jar, and I breathe normally, and I relax for about 5 to 10 seconds. Then I do the next one. And this is jasmine. So I remember maybe a jasmine perfume, a jasmine tea, a jasmine flower, right? I'm going to recall all of these memories in my mind's eye as I'm sniffing, because our memory and our sense of smell are intricately linked. So if our memory can jog that connection, we're doing great. So now I am going to smell the jasmine and try, as I'm doing this, to recall the taste and the aroma of jasmine. And then I'm going to close it and I'm going to put it down. So this is the exercise that you need to do with all 4 scents, okay? And you need to do it between 3 and 5 times a day, 5 sniffs, 3 times with a little rest in between, remembering those plant parts, those plant tastes, those plant aromas. And this is the exercises that I did religiously with real dedication, okay, for 10 days after I recovered, and I was able to get my sense of smell back to 100%. You have to be dedicated. If you really want your sense of smell back, you need to do the work. You need to be committed, you need to focus, you need to concentrate. Think of it this way. If you, God forbid, broke your ankle or sprained your wrist and you wanted full mobility back in that limb, you would go to physical therapy, you would do the exercises no matter how painful, you would practice every day to make sure that you could play tennis again or walk to work, right? The same thing is with your sense of smell. It's that important. We need to give it that kind of focus and commitment if you want to regain it to its full capacity. I want to give a shout out to an amazing website called absent.org. I have it listed in the description below, along with all the details of my smelling exercises that help me regain my sense of smell in just 10 days. So please leave a comment. Tell me if you are still suffering from not having a really good sense of smell because of COVID, or maybe you've had a loss of sense of smell from some other situation, or maybe you just never had a very developed sense of smell. This is a great exercise to improve and refine your sense of smell and to also kickstart your sense of smell if you lost it because of COVID or a bad cold or anything else. So please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and if you have any questions about learning about your olfactory system and how it benefits your wellness and your health, leave me a message. I've left my email below, and I would love to tell you more about my aromatherapy certification program.